From the BBR studios, it is Line Locked, where we talk about everything racing and a little bit of bullshit. What do you think about that?
I like a lot of bit of bullshit, honestly.
A lot of bit of bull?
Yeah.
A lot of bit of bull.
Yeah, I like that more than anything.
All right. Hey, guys, welcome to the episode number 10.
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0 of Line Locked. We got a lot of good stuff in store for you and a special guest in just a few minutes.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. But first, I'm Corey.
Oh, man, I'm Chris.
And we are Line Lock Podcast.
Yeah. All right. All right.
But I'm here. Are you here, Chris?
I am here, and it is a beautiful cold day in southern Indiana.
Yeah, it's actually been worse though. It was kind of warm earlier. But I want to tell you something, Chris.
Okay. All right. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm a little bit aggravated with a lot of things in life, but one of them is this automation things that are happening. And I don't know if you've ever been to a drive-through yet that has an automated attendant. Have you been to one?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, this is the first time today.
Really?
Oh yeah. I went to the Hardee's drive-through, and computer-generated voice came on and took my order, and it was so aggravating because I tried to explain to her what I wanted and she wasn't getting it, and I was like, I was trying to dial 1 for the operator side of the situation, but I never got there. But the worst part about it, the thing that made me most upset with everything, was after I was done and she gave me the total, I said thank you. It's like you don't thank your ATM, right? It was so dumb. I don't understand it. What do you guys think in the comments? I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous when they can't even take your order at a drive-thru.
Well, listen. I got a little story to that too.
Okay.
Now, my girlfriend said you need to say something nice about me because
it hasn't been good press lately.
I know. She says I sound like a dumpster fire going. So when we were going down to Charleston, right?
Yeah.
We stopped at this McDonald's.
Yeah.
And she walks in. I keep the kids and the dogs in the car, and she walks in, and there's nobody behind the counter, but they have one of those automated. You type in what you want and all that stuff. There is every employee that's working there is sitting at a chair in the lobby and not making the food. No one ever gets up. What? So it's not that automated yet. They'll take your order.
Yeah.
But they're not automated enough to make your own food.
Yeah.
She was PO'd. She came out of there just like when she got swarmed by the fire ants.
Yeah. How are those warts doing, by the way?
Those warts. All right, baby. I love you.
Yeah.
You're not a dumpster fire, but
she seems to be pissed off a lot, though.
She does. She is pissed off a lot, yes. All right.
All right, so it's time for the news now, huh?
Oh, yeah. Your Line Locked news anchor, Corey. What do we got on the board today?
I got to tell you, we have one of the biggest announcements of the NHRA ever's had.
The biggest?
One of the biggest announcements. It happened at PRA this last week. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, they came out and said you got to wait till the PRI. We're gonna show everybody live what the big announcement is, and they hyped this thing up like it was.
Oh my God, there was ads
everywhere, and we were all real excited. And I'm just going to touch on, at least on their own post on Facebook, what kind of people thought it might have been. One of them was like maybe opening a new track or something, or maybe changing the payout scales.
Oh, that would have been nice.
For the sportsmen.
Yeah.
Or maybe even creating a new racing class. Mm-hmm. Or even a lot of people saying, I think John Force is retiring.
That would have been a big one.
Something of real substance. And, I'm going to tell you.
What was it?
Turns out Tony Stewart's going to be taking over for Leah Pruett. That's it. No. TSR Racing. I mean,
that was huge.
I don't know, man. I tell you, I think it's good for the sport. I'm not denying that. I just think the way the NHRA promoted that pissed a lot of people off and disappointed a lot of people when all they did was announce a driver change in a team, one team.
Yeah.
It was upsetting a little bit.
It was very upsetting.
So
I was expecting when we went down to the show to hear that it was going to be something big, like world changing NHRA stuff. But
there could have been so many other things. There's a lot of, and this is to me is part of the reason why so many people think the NHRA is just so out of touch with racers in general. I mean, it's just absurd that they would think this is going to be one of the biggest announcements. I'm not saying it's not big for TSR, just not big for NHRA. It's just a driver's change. I mean, it's silly to me.
Do you think that the drivers that have to go against Tony now, that they were happy about it?
I don't know. Tony's a competitor.
Oh my gosh, he's been around forever.
I think I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people say it that he has won a championship in everything he's ever tried doing.
Yeah.
So this may not be an exception, but I don't know. He got real close. Well, he didn't win a championship in Top Alcohol Dragster, so that's not true because he got second place.
Oh.
He did do well though.
Would he still be racing that if he didn't get this ride?
Yeah. So that was kind of. Well, let's talk about that. Let me finish this, and then we'll talk about kind of that a little bit. Some of the comments after the announcement on the Facebook page. This is not a huge announcement. I feel a huge announcement would have included everybody in the NHRA. This affects nobody but them. Why did I wait around for this?
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Another comment was, it's really cool to see him go to Top Fuel. It will be exciting. However, I thought this was an NHRA announcement, not a TSR announcement. Followed NHRA for overhyping this.
Yeah,
so that's just, and I tell you, there was a lot of positive comments in there, and I think we're kind of looking for the negative in this because we're not happy about it. But, it's just.
Well, let me ask you, let me play devil's advocate just a little bit here.
Sure.
So, in the good old days, we had Prudhomme, we had Gerlitz, and, John Force. But, John Force is not the Force he used to be. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's so, okay.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. But, Tony Stewart is a big name. Mm-hmm. And do you think that they were banking on this is a world-class racer?
So I think in the NHRA's point of view is they're going to try to capture some of the NASCAR fan base, by bringing him into the top level of the sport. I can see it. I can buy into it. But again, to hype this as the biggest NHRA announcement, it was just, I think it was a marketing scheme or maybe mismarketing. Maybe they didn't. Again, this goes to how out of touch the NHRA is, especially to really its bread and butter, sportsman racing. The guys that keep everything moving along. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I know that there was another, and it was your favorite driver.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, because I've said this a million times. There's two of my favorite drivers.
Okay.
All right. So Lyle Barnett and then Stevie Fax Jackson. So nonetheless, this one's about Lyle Barnett and in particular because when Leah decided that she wanted to step away from racing, he was actually the first pick to get in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Which he was super excited about. And there was an article written, it's this one particular one that I'm going to link in the show notes, came from Competition Plus, but I think the actual article was from another thing. I'm sure it's cited in that. But evidently those talks had happened for many months before finally, because Tony didn't want to race a car full time. But right before they were supposed to actually set everything in stone, like the night before, he looked over at Leah and said, "Hey, baby, let me in that cockpit. Let me in that cockpit," is what he said. Maybe.
And they were telling
allegedly,
and they were telling Lyle, "You almost had it.
He almost had it.
Almost had it."
But Lyle was a good sport about it. He said just being that close to it was something to hang his hat on. And man, that's why I respect the guy.
Yeah.
But I tell you what. He did get something, and it's not because of this. I don't think he was destined for this anyway. But last year he didn't get to race Pro Mod because he couldn't find a car, and Lyle actually got a car this year. He'll be racing for Scott Tidwell in Pro Modified. So pretty excited to watch him there.
Yeah, 2024, Lyle.
Also, we have our friend of the show, Buddy Hall. He got named the driver for the Jim Dunn Racing program in the funny car. So he's going from Top Fuel to funny car. This is in 2024 season.
Yeah.
So we want to congratulate him for pulling that off. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got any news? I think that's about it for me.
Well, I mentioned to you earlier, and I was pretty sad. I was talking to my girlfriend about it. So they stopped making the Dodge Challenger and the Charger this year, the 2023, and those were their big muscle cars for them. Even like the Demon 170, I think that was doing at 898 and a quarter mile. That's pretty fast. But so they stopped production on those, and they made the announcement. It was supposed to be in 2024, but I think they're going to skip into 25 because it's not ready. But their next muscle car that's coming out is going to be an EV car.
Yeah, so what's muscle about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Although, have you ever rode the Lightning working on a 220 or something? I'd say there's quite a bit of muscle there. It's pretty scary.
It'll mess you up.
Hey, go ahead and grab a hold of that red and black wire there and tell me there's no muscle.
So, so tell us, guys, do you think that you can stroll around the streets in an electric car that's deemed a muscle car?
Only if there's a speaker and it sounds like the Jetsons.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever. That's
I'm not even going to attempt that. Not even going to attempt that sound.
All right, so we're going to move on to our special guest.
Yep.
And we're going to announce him right now.
Let's welcome the gear jamming, green light having, wheels up racing 2023 modified production champion. It's Kyle Renfroe.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad, man. We are really excited to have you on. It's an honor because you used to race with me in Pro Gas, and then you kind of championed your own class. But before we get to that, let's talk about a little bit about your drag racing history. How'd you get into this whole thing?
Well, my family was racing before I was born. So my dad and uncle was racing, and they ended up racing the car that I'm racing today. My dad bought that car in 1970, and I was born in 1968. So it's been in our family almost as long as I have. They were running a 1940 Willis Coupe, and my dad bought that car came out of Fairfield, Illinois, Wayne County Speed Shop. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them guys or not, but my dad and uncle went to high school with those guys in Fairfield. So it kind of all came from that too. But they moved to Michigan and kept in touch with those guys because my mom was born and raised down there. But so I grew up wanting to go to the racetrack, but I was too little, obviously. They quit running in 1977 was the last year they ran. They were running modified production at that time. So this shop that I'm in right now isn't the old shop that they had. We tore it down and built a new one, but I've spent a lot of late nights in this building or in this property while they were wrenching on the car, getting it ready to go. And it's just a natural fit for me. That car, when they were running, it was on the cover of Popular Hot Rodding magazine. It's been in a few Corvette magazines and stuff like that. So the car's got a lot of history.
Yeah.
Like I said, they quit in 1977, and it sat here in this building until 1980, and there was a fire and in the old building, and then it moved out to where my parents lived, and it sat out in the barn for just about 11 years.
What was the car then, as far as power plant and
they had a small cubic inch 283. I think they were like a 292 cubic inch, I believe.
Probably like a Muncie 4-speed.
Yep, 4-speed to begin with, and when they quit racing, they had progressed into the 5-speed. Doug Nash 5-speed is what they was running in it. They held the IHRA record for a time, and they were pretty successful in this area. They ran the East Coast, the Division III, Columbus, Martin, the Pop Rod Meet, Gainesville, Indy. So they were running that.
Were they pretty successful?
Yeah, they done pretty good. They never did win a national event. They won several local events at their home track. There was 3 tracks they ran at Martin, 131. They ran at Milan, and there was a track Onondaga that was racing. So they were running 3 different tracks in this area every weekend. So they were pretty busy. And we, like I said, we grew up going to the races, and we'd get to track, and we knew not to be around the car because it didn't take much to get in trouble.
Yeah. So when did you take over?
I pulled the thing out of the barn in 1988.
88.
And kind of cleaned the bird crap off of it and started redoing it.
So they trusted a 20-year-old Kyle to its safety?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I had a Camaro. I got a 68 Camaro when I turned 16. My dad got that for me, and I raced it. That's right on the street, and so it wasn't like I was just jumping into it. I'd had some experience racing before, and when we pulled it out of the barn, we was going to make it into a street route, drive it on the street, and that never happened.
Yeah. Did it already have a cage?
Did
it already have a cage in it? From your
yeah, it had a cage in it, and they had tubbed it, narrowed it.
The cage
back in the day.
The cage part it's pretty dangerous if you leave it in there anyway, for for reasons of safety of your head. If you hit a bump or something. So if you're going to drive it on the street, you really would have to have a helmet on to be safe, and that's no fun.
because the top ain't going to do anything. It's going to fly off of there. First roll you make, it's gone.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
You're just bouncing your head off the road. But so yeah, we've been into racing, or I've been into racing all my life.
Mm-hmm.
In one form or another. Once me and my wife started a family and started having kids, we had 3 daughters, and there was a long period of my summers was softball. It wasn't racing, but once my youngest got done with college ball, and I was like, all right, I'm going back to racing. And they
thought I was out, but they pulled me back in.
And I said, it's my turn again. Yeah. Now you guys come watch me for a while.
Yeah.
So
nice.
But it was, I mean, the car thing, I bought my daughters their first car. That was the deal. My dad's dad bought him his first car and told him, now you have to buy your kids first cars. And that's what my dad told me. And so it's been a ongoing tradition. And I bought cars that were wrecked. My daughters all got LS Camaros and Firebird, whatever, but they helped me fix them and get them going. And they've all 3 still have their first cars. I still have my first car.
So my daughter's about to turn 16, and she really wants a Charger that's being sold down the street. And I refuse to buy it for her. I just think that's such a big car for a 16-year-old. I guess you have a little more trust in your daughter than I do in mine.
Well, I was driving. I don't know. I was driving on the road probably when I was 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Not into town, but down to my buddy's house or whatever.
Yeah.
I was out driving. So when I got my car, I don't think there was any worries. And I'd seen my dad's method. I loved my car. So I didn't get in any trouble because I knew the car was gone first time I got in trouble. So he used that as a tool. I didn't know it then. But I know it now. But
but that's my worry is Olivia knows that there's no such thing as grounding in our house because my wife won't stand for it. So she's going to get something tiny. Whatever I could find that she could fit in, that's what she's getting.
My oldest daughter's car was a Camaro, and it was a 6-speed manual. And I got it done for her, and I drove it into town at our ice cream store, which, by the way, does not have an automated drive-through speaker. It's one-on-one conversation.
Have you been to one of those yet where they automate it?
Yes. They're all that way, I think. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. All right, we'll get off of that. But it's upsetting to me.
But I drove it to town, and I was like, well, there you go. And she's like, well, I can't drive a stick shift. And I said, well, that's a shame. It's just going to sit there then.
Yeah. So she learned it though, huh?
We got in it and took off, and she had it by the time we all. So
it's a natural. You guys are a clutch pedal family. It just comes in the blood.
Yeah, the man pedal.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. That's right. I do have questions about that later. I'll bring them up here in a little bit.
All right.
So you got the car and you started racing it. I assume you started racing it somewhere in the 90s and somewhere in there. Just and then you had some family, and then you came back. Did you come straight back with the NHRA, or did you start doing racing and then you came?
Well, I'd I'd never raced with the NRL, and we'd go to the track a couple times a year. We went to the Pinks All Out and did a couple of those, and then we just happened we heard about this NDRL thing that was coming to Martin, and me and my brother was like, well, that sounds like that'd be fun, let's go try it out. So we went and did that and loved it, and ended up going to the rest of the races for the year with them. And then the next season, I think we made, or I made just about all of them. And then from then on, I've been to all of them, and joined as a member. And it's a super good family. It's some of my best friends now. I've met at the NDRL, and they race, and we hang out on weekends and when we're not racing. So it's just a super good time. My family, we've always camped, and it's like getting to go camping and play with your race car all day at a campground. So
yeah, I guess I never thought about that analogy. It's camping with racing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I never even thought about that. That's pretty cool. I didn't think.
Yeah, maybe we need to market it that way.
Yeah, maybe so. It is a great atmosphere. We love the NDRL. We've always had a great time racing with them, and we're maybe biased because we've never raced with another division. But we found our spot pretty early in it. Obviously, because that's kind of our first division we've ever raced. But that's cool. So you raced Progress for quite a while, and then this year you started Production Modified. Can we talk a little bit about what that is?
So the Production Modified is obviously it's nostalgia. I think it was 1981 NHRA discontinued Production Modified. If you go back and watch some of the YouTube videos and stuff of hearing the guys talking about Production Modified, when Production Modified was called to the lanes, the stands filled. Everybody wanted to see them because they were singing them things 10, 11,000 RPMs and dumping the clutch. It was entertaining. They liked to watch it, and they were devastated when they done away with it. And a lot of them cars just went home and they went in the garage and they sat there, and we're seeing some of the cars that haven't been redone. They've just been brought back to the track, and it's just super cool because they still have all the old stickers, and it's just it's a time capsules, and it's so we're not near as stringent as what it used to be. You used to have to weigh so many pounds per cubic inch motor, and that's why a lot of the cars run really small motors because they could be lighter. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to get something light moving quick than it is something heavy.
So they paired them kind of like the gas classes where cubic inch still weight.
Yeah, there was E modified, D modified, C modified, so on and so forth, like the gases.
Right.
They ran gas and then graduated into modified, and they run against all the big guys that dominated in modified production back in the day. And but like I said, you got to have a clutch. You got to leave with the clutch. A lot of us, we run clutchless. We don't clutch after we leave the line. We just shift them.
That was going to be one of my questions, is if I could run like a Bruno drive.
Some of the guys do. Some of the guys are still clutching them.
Yeah. Well, my question was going to be if I could run a Bruno drive, which is a clutchless deal, where it's got a torque converter, but you have a like a Liberty or something behind it. But I guess that's a no. That's a no, huh?
those leave with a
two-step.
Actually,
yeah, it leaves on two-step.
Okay. Yeah. No. Gotta have that third.
So it's not about being able to shift gears as much as it has to have a clutch pedal, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then let's talk about the cars. Is there a car range or type that you have to have in order to be production modified?
Well, so production modified, I think it was 81 or 83. I think it was 81 is when they done away with it. So 81, they were still running 1981 cars, but to run this class with the NDRL, it's got to be 79 or older
pre-79
to run in our class.
So
because that's what all of our classes.
So that's any make and model, or does it have to be a car, or can it be a 53 Chevy pickup? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, it could be a pickup. I mean, we're not. Yeah, you throw a clutch in that, man. Come with us, you'll love it.
I want to, and we need to have somebody in that class to start beating up on you guys. So, well, our team has been talking about who's going to have to put the clutch in the car. So,
you'll never go back to an automatic.
Yeah. Well, you know that truck started as a 5-speed. At 14 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because T5s don't like a whole lot of horsepower.
No, and you can't you can't really power shift them very well either.
No. I go back and watch the videos of me doing that, like high 13-second passes, and it almost looked like I wasn't even going anywhere. Like it was so slow. And my first pass ever in that truck was with the 5-speed at Bowling Green for the Hot Rod Reunion. The first time ever at a drag strip. Never even practiced.
Yeah.
So my first time going down, I was pretty nervous that I was going to screw something up. So literally, I was just driving it kind of like you would drive fast away from a stoplight. I wasn't even trying. But I tell you what, I thought I had something. Yeah. I really did. When we drove that thing around, I was like, man, I'm probably gonna end up breaking out. They're gonna kick me out because I don't have a full cage. $14.99.
Yes. Yeah. Oops.
It was pathetic. All right, cool, man.
It's fun.
Awesome. So
we're usually done. We're done shifting by half track.
Yeah. So do you get all the way to 4th gear?
5th gear.
Oh, you're a 5-speed.
Yeah,
so you get all the way to 5, huh?
Yeah, I run 5-speed. Yeah, I run Liberty.
When I was running the truck, I only got to 3rd, but 3rd at like 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Is there any other rules in order to be with the production modified guys, other than having to have a stick and have to be pre-79?
Yep, that's it. I mean, we're trying to grow. We're trying to grow the class, so we're not going to throw a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
Some of the guys want it back the way it was. Cubic inch, pound per cubic inch, and
yeah, that would
it's not possible.
Yeah, for us, the way we have things, you would have a hard time because right until we get more production modified, which I think we will. I think this first year that you guys went out, you made a name. You told people you were out there. Those guys that had them put up in the sheds because they didn't have a place to race heard about it, and maybe they're going to come this year. I have a lot of hope, and I have a lot of excitement for this class that it is going to grow. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and we're going to have to baby it a little bit, and ProGas going to have to pay your all's way for just a little while. And,
you guys are carrying all of us. So gas is carrying us all. Yeah. No doubt about it.
It's the one. It's kind of the one class though that never went away. You always had it. So it's the easiest one to get people cars involved.
It's easy to fit into, and it's tough. The first year I run with NDRL, I never won a round.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One round.
Took me. Well, shit. I've never won. Well, this year I won a round. I've won some rounds before. It took me a full year, and then it into the season of the second year I started being successful, and then I decided to change everything.
Yes.
Nonetheless, I tell you what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick little commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how your first season in production modified went. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right. We'll be right back.
Do you need an engine built right for your car? Take it from us. Call Performance Automotive in Beth Alto, Illinois. Whether it's a small block, big block, Chevy, Ford, or even a diesel. Call Mike or Gordon. These guys are guys that you can trust. That's Performance Automotive, and tell them Line Lock sent ya.
Dogs are not out. Debbie's not even home.
Oh, maybe if they're out, then it's a problem.
Yeah, if they're out, there's a dog fight happening right now because Red's gonna go over like he's late for work. Yeah, he fucking hates that dog. He hates that dog. I swear, I'm not even lying. It's like he's late for work. He's grabbing his keys and shit, and he's running. His first stop is to go whoop that dog's ass. He's trying to.
Oh my god. I could see him doing that too.
Yeah. Oh, he's so upset. He is so. It's like they're talking shit across the yard all day long.
Oh,
Hey, you just wait till I get out of this fenced in area.
yeah. Better be glad this electric fence is holding me back.
I tell you, there was this one time where Hemi and Red got out, and I'm running over there trying to grab them, and we got to him, and Red had his neck, pinned him to the ground, and Hemi grabbed a hold of his balls and was just pulling on him. And I come off the top rope, trying to break it up,
Doing like the diamond cutter.
We might have to leave some of this in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is why you guys are. You keep this stuff. This is what's going to sell. We grew up with pit bulls, and we had two of them that did not like each other, and they got into it one night.
Oh.
And speaking of dog balls, after that night, one of them only had one.
Oh, it got violent. It got violent. Oh man, I tell you, I hate it too because all the dogs we've had before was friends with our neighbors' dogs, no problem whatsoever. And then we get one dog that had a problem with them, and now it's costing me thousands of dollars putting up fences and that didn't hold them in, so now electric fences,
Yes.
shot collar. Yeah. It ended up coming down to us having to pay almost $3,000 in dog trainer fees to get that damn thing under control. And it's amazing. It's almost like a race car. It's never done.
Yeah. It's a winter project.
And it always causes you problems, and you're always worried about it. All right, man. Let's talk about your this 2023 season. Obviously, you're the championship. You won the championship, so you had a good season. Do we want to start from the beginning and kind of work our way through each 6 races, or how do you want to do that?
Yep, we can start at the beginning. Actually, we can start before the beginning.
Okay, let's do that.
So we ended the season with Pro Gas, was trying to get this modified production class going, and so I always kind of went to the races thinking, well, I got an excuse not to win. I got a stick shift. Everyone else is running automatics. Blah 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 blah. And then this class come along, and I was like, I got to win. I don't got any excuse anymore. They're all going to be running stick shift with a clutch, so I got to. So last winter at this time, I was getting ready to start redoing my car. I had to build a whole new motor. I back half the car, pulled it off the frame, redone the whole back half because it had been done in the 70s when my dad and uncle done it, and back then you made everything. You couldn't go buy stuff; you just had to make it, and it was all good, but it was geared towards that smaller motor. They were running, I think, 1013. I think was the quickest CT they ever ran with the car back in the day, and of course I was running 9s with it, and it was twisted. I was having problems with the car going left all the time. I was fighting it all the time. So I thought, well, something's moving. Something's got to be moving. So in the process, I back halved it, put all everything in the back, new rear end, new 4-link bars, everything. So, and that all paid off. But going into the first race, I hadn't ran the car. I had no idea if it was going to go forward, backward, or sideways when I took off. So we got to Indy to our first race, and I didn't know what index it was going to run, didn't know anything. And got there.
It sounds like you show up at the track. It sounds like you show up into the track about as good of preparations as we do. Yes, we just have a lot of thoughts and prayers.
Well, that one was definitely that way. But I made it to the semifinals that race, and my brother, he beat me in the semifinals because he knew my car wasn't running the number, and his was, so he knew he had me. But
yeah,
me and him have always been very, very competitive. If there was 2 lawnmowers, we raced them. If there was 2 bicycles, we raced them. Yeah. If there was 2 scooters, we raced them. It didn't matter what it was, we raced.
Yeah.
And so obviously we get there, and then he beats me. So he brings home the first trophy, and because I always wanted one of them NDRL trophies,
Man, how upset were you for a whole month? You gotta be upset.
Your work ethic changes.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, but I mean, I was pretty happy because the car did everything I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
So then the second race come. What is it? Is it St. Louis?
The second race was Bowling Green, wasn't it?
Bowling Green.
Yep.
Was it?
I think so. It was Indy Bowling Green was the second race.
Yep.
Hot Rod Union.
That's right.
Or Nostalgia Nationals.
Yep. So we get there, and first round, I got to race this guy named Gary. Well, he's from Michigan here, and I've beat him multiple times in Michigan races, Michigan stick shift races and stuff. And he's like, all I want to do is beat you. I don't care if I win any other races. I just want to beat you. So I get him first round, and we pull up there in pre-stage, and he tightened up his air gap so much on his car. When he staged and pinned it, the car started creeping. And for whatever reason, he didn't red light, but he had the best light he ever had in his life. And he put me out in the first round at Bowling Green. And I was like, Gary, anywhere but here.
What is a good light? What does a good light look like for modified production?
So we're a lot better than what we were. I mean, we're teens and 20s and O's. So we're right there with pro gas.
So, but what about what I guess I'm trying to get at is how consistent can you be that?
I've gotten pretty consistent at it. If I have and I'm not saying but if I have a 40 light, I'm not happy with myself. But I can still have an 80 or a 90 light
and still be in the mix.
Because at the finals, race and tug, we both had terrible lights, and I just sometimes you get lucky, and we got down to the end and we were both playing the game, and I got lucky.
So that's another thing, an observation that I've had, and I think that's what makes the racing so much fun is you have the complexity of trying to get off the light with a clutch pedal, which obviously is hard to be as consistent as just lifting off a button. But you also have gear changes going down track that if you're a different RPM when you shift, it'll produce a different ET at the end. So
correct.
It's complicated throughout the entire race.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
It is. But it's so a lot of times if it's a good run, like we'll pull second gear in the air.
Yeah.
Your front tires are still up when you pull second gear.
Yeah.
But it's almost automatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't even remember doing it.
Yeah.
It just happens kind of thing. You're seeing the flash and shifting.
So have you ever had one of those money shifts?
What's that?
It's where you go into first instead of third.
No, you can't.
Oh, you can't? Is it locked out?
Yeah. It's first is straightforward. You pull it straight back for second. You push it straight forward.
Okay, yeah. So because you're using is it a Liberty or is that a
Liberty?
Is that a Liberty?
Liberty equalizer shift.
Yeah. So the old T5, she could money shift because I did it at a stoplight once.
Yes. Yeah.
Throw you right in the windshield.
Don't do you any good when you do that.
I'm sorry for disturbing your story here, but
no, that's good.
So Bowling Green. You were at Bowling Green, and you said, did you make the finals? You said there with Tug.
At the final race, I did. But
at the final.
The second race of the season, I went out first round, and I'm thinking, man, I'm screwed now. Points. I think I dropped down to fourth, maybe, in points.
Yeah.
After that, and Tug won that race. Tug ended up winning that race at Hot Rod Union.
Okay.
And he's a tough competitor, good racer.
Mm-hmm.
Third race. Oh, what was that? Norwalk?
That would have been Norwalk, right?
Yep.
Or St.
Wade Cruz?
No, St. Louis or Norwalk?
We did St. Louis and Michigan back to back. I remember that.
Okay, so then it would have been Norwalk, St. Louis, and Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep. So, it would have been Norwalk.
We went to Norwalk. Yep. And I I won that race. That was the one race I won this year. I really didn't realize it until the banquet that I went to 4 finals this year.
Oh,
it never dawned on me that I went to 4 finals this year. I only won one of them.
Yeah.
But I did go to 4 finals.
But that's what made you the champion, though, is just because the amount of points that you accumulate getting to the finals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going rounds.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to win it, but you got to go. You got to be there.
Yep.
You know, so. But so that was a good race for me. Norwalk, beautiful track, excellent facility, great time going there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's
one of my favorite.
It's a blast going
one
there.
of my favorite tracks of the year. I mean, obviously, I have a soft spot for Bowling Green, but Norwalk is just such a great, nice facility, and then the ownership is fantastic. Just everything about that is a great time.
Yeah. You feel a little bit more big time when you go to Norwalk. You know?
Certainly do.
You feel like you've made it.
Yeah, you get to park on pavement that's not all crumbled up.
Yeah, easy to back up in there and stuff.
Oh yeah, real easy to back up at Norwalk. I don't know if you know that or not. There's literally 0 obstacles.
Do we even go down that road?
Yeah, we don't need to go down the road. I'll tell you later if you want to know about it, Kyle.
And they've got ice cream.
Yeah, they do have ice cream.
Yeah.
They do.
It's not as good as my ice cream, but they do have ice cream.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So you after Norwalk, you went down to St. Louis. How did you do there?
St. Louis. Made it to the final again in St. Louis. Mm-hmm.
What lost that race for you? Do you know? Do you remember?
I raced Danny Kellens in the final, I believe, and I don't remember if I red lit. I think I might have red lit in St. Louis.
Well, we need to change our intro then. It's not green light having.
No, because
I talked you up. I talked you up.
A lot of, you know what though, a lot of time qualifying. I mean, I will red light quite a bit in qualifying.
Well, you got to.
My belief is, if you're not red lighting once in a while, you're not trying.
Yeah,
that's
100%. 100%. But I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the single digits. I just think that's a bad green light or bad red light. I should say.
Warren Johnson commented on that after race one time, and he says that's a poor job of red light.
To me, it is. I want to be in the teens, maybe real low 20. I'm real happy with that because you can't win a race you've lost at the starting line. But unfortunately, we have some competitors in some of our classes that will get double O's. If they can say, "Hey, I'm going to go up there and get a double O," and they'll get a double O. You know, Jackson is one of those guys. He's so good at the light.
Yep. The comp cars and 7.0 and 750 cars, but their cars are moving so much quicker than our cars are.
Yeah.
Even like the gas cars, it's just them things are gone, and that helps obviously.
For sure,
that makes your reaction better. Those guys do have to be concerned with red light because their cars are moving so fast.
Yeah.
But, we what did we do? We went to
Michigan after that.
We went to Martin, didn't we?
Yep,
sure did.
Yep, we went to Martin.
How was that final race?
That you already know that my brother beat me in the final. I did beat him once this year, though. He beat me twice. I beat him once.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about the NDRL is obviously the class champion's car gets put on the T-shirt for next season. So that's what I want my car on that T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're both all summer. I want my car on that T-shirt, and that was kind of the big incentive for us was to get our car on the T-shirt. You know, that was the drive right there. But he beat me 2 out of 3 times this year, but I ended up getting more points. And we were going into the final race at Bowling Green. I was ahead of him by 1 point.
Wow.
That's close.
How much are you sweating bullets, man? You just had to have been on edge.
It was terrible.
Hey, bring your wife on the podcast here. I want to ask her a couple questions. I bet you were a joy to be around.
Well, she was more nervous than I was.
Oh, is she?
Which made me more nervous.
Yeah.
But we went there, and I was 3 points ahead. But after qualifying, I was only 1 point ahead, and I ended up getting a competition bye first round because the guy didn't show up, and so I'm behind him, and his wind light comes on.
Oh no.
You know,
Yeah.
you want him to win, but you don't want him
Yeah,
to win. You know,
yeah,
so and we go up second round again. I think he did lose in the second round, and I thought, okay, you know, I've got it. And I actually was running. I believe in the second round I was running the guy. I think he's a super stocker, and I think he won the fall race there last year. And we had a little issue with the double staging or deep staging. He was deep staging, and you know, we weren't really happy about it. But he tried deep staging with me, and he red lit in the second round. And like I said, then I raced Tug in the third round, and like I said, that was just one of us had to lose and one of us had to win. I got lucky and won.
Yeah.
And then the final of that race, I had to race Gary Rollo, and he's one of the guys from Texas. He comes all the way from Texas.
Yeah, I know there's a couple guys that do that, and I can't imagine the drive.
His brother's going to have a car with us next year, and
That's
then one of
cool.
their buddies that comes with them is bringing a car running modified.
So you're saying there's two brothers in modified production?
There's going to be two sets of brothers running against each
All right,
other.
Chris, I got an idea for you.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. I think we can solve our issue without having to spend any money.
You got his number by chance?
and you know, that's what I'm thinking the whole time when it's getting down, and I'm like, okay, I'm winning the points here. This is in reach. And I'm thinking I got to get it done this year because it's going to be tougher next year. Because as the season went on, everybody was getting better. Their trees were getting better. It just kept getting better and better.
And I'm telling you right now, as cool as that class is, I think it's going to come around. It may not be this following year, but for sure the third year going in, you got to have a little bit of growing pains, and I think we're going to have some turnout. It's too cool to stop doing it. Yep.
It's going to take some time, and it's good racing. You know, one of the foes we have is, you know, 10 cars or 15 cars or whatever shows up at the race, and we'll always lose one or two before the finals because they do break parts. They, you know, those cars are a little bit harder on parts than what the other cars are. But it's a blast. I love it. I hope it can grow. I know there's some Michigan guys that are going to come more this year and run in it, and Tom, he run pro gas, and he's building a car right now to run modified this year. So it's going to be better next year, and I know it is. Well,
we're certainly excited. We're certainly excited to see what this involves. Sorry about that too.
Evolves.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool.
So you won Bowling Green, right? The last race there, right?
No. That was another final race.
Gary. Yeah. Gary beat me in the final.
Only race he won was Norwalk, right?
Oh, okay. So because I was thinking for some reason I remember running down there and that was the bounty race with Sam, right?
Yes, yeah, that was Gary Rollo.
Ran Sam. Okay.
Yeah.
And I definitely wanted to talk about that tonight. The modified car did beat the gas.
Yeah. And so, not only that, it was Sam. I mean, Sam's
tough. It was
as consistent as they come.
Sam is no joke.
Yes. Yeah.
Sam he's the real deal.
Yeah.
He gets her done.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we'll just keep talking. I'm just going to continue to talk and finish this up. We have a little bit of delay in our Zoom call here, so sorry about that, guys that's watching or listening. But yeah, Sam is an amazing racer, and that race, that was as far as the NDRL really pushed that race to where they actually had a bounty and actually somebody sponsored it and really organized and pushed it, and that was really cool to watch. There were so many people on the starting line that was on one side or the other, just excited to see how this is going to go down. And for me, it was one of the coolest races of the year. I'm hoping that we can do maybe, I think it was cool because we hadn't done it, but I think it would be kind of cool to do maybe twice in a year.
I think so. And maybe get a comp in a gas car maybe, or just just keep everyone, just to get a little rivalry going. And, fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Like that race, Danny put up 400 and I put up 200 for the Bowling Green.
Yeah.
So whoever won that race got $600.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How about a hot rod class versus a Pro 7.0 class?
Or let's go one step further. Top Fuel against our slowest progress.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It's going to grow, I think. And it's going to get tougher. It's very, very competitive, but I really do mean it when I say it's expensive to turn your car into, the clutches are expensive, the transmissions are $7,000 to $15,000. Just depends on how crazy you want to get with it. But it is so much funner going down the track shifting gears.
I guarantee it. It gives you something to do. It really does.
Yeah.
It kind of gets boring in that car.
14 seconds. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You take off, you can't see, you can feel it. You feel it. You're going straight or not going straight. But if you're not going straight, you pull it into second gear to get the front end down. And it's like I said, you're hammering the gears. And those transmissions, like the Liberty transmissions that we run, were designed for pro stock cars, way higher horsepower cars than what we're running. So you don't have problems with it.
Yeah, the transmission is good. It's just the clutches that you have to worry about over time.
The clutches and the clutches will last a season. You can get a full season out of your clutches. So there's maintenance that you got to do. I got to do it.
Let me before I let you talk about your sponsors and everybody else you want to thank, let me ask you a question. Do you feel like modified production dirties up the starting line a little bit? Do you feel like that?
I don't see how. They all say that, and I'm fine with them putting us at the end of the pack because that means we've got that much better of a track. We got more rubber. I don't see how it can be any different than your truck or anybody else's truck.
Well, I don't know either, and I don't know why, but I can tell you, anecdotal evidence from my end. Every time I've ever tried to run directly after production or modified production, I will slip almost instantly off the line, and I can't recover from that. So it's just it's a lost run. And I'm not saying what we decided was the strategy this coming year was to make sure that we were 5 or 6 down the pack so that we weren't directly behind you. And that seemed to work for us just fine. Some people don't have trouble with it, but when you have a higher horsepower car and a tiny tire like my truck had, it's going to go to a bigger tire. You need everything. Any small amount of change to that track just ruins it for me. So, and I don't know what it does to it. I always said maybe it balled it up or something. But you can tell, I have a video from 2 years ago when I tried launching, and that was a lower horsepower motor too. It was only 600 horse. You could see directly in front of my rear tires. My truck's pretty long compared to most of the modified production cars. You could tell right in front of my front tires. It was almost like a bare spot. And I'm not saying it does. You just have to adjust around it, but I just was curious on your thoughts on if it actually does anything.
They say that we peel the rubber off the track.
Yeah.
And it may be. I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying I don't understand how it can be. I mean, I'm launching around 62 to 6,500 RPM, and I don't know what you guys are launching at, but
2,200.
Some of the gas cars.
I launch really low because my truck reacts so fast. But I used to launch off the torque converter at 6,200. In the old chassis setup. So very similar, And
I got to believe it's hitting it just as hard as
you would think. You would think so. You'd think so.
Yeah. So I don't know. They say it does, but like I said, in my mind, I can't understand that 6,200 RPM to 6,200 RPM.
The only thing that I could think that maybe it is the torque converter initializes a little bit of slip into it, so it's not a direct. Hammer versus the clutch, but your all's clutches have adjustments for that, so it almost acts like a torque converter. So
we're slipping too.
Yeah,
we're slipping.
Yeah,
because I mean, the theory behind that is your car is quicker slipping that clutch than it is dead.
Yeah,
It's
way with you.
fact.
Yeah, same way you kind of want a little bit of tire slip too. It gives you better.
You need that.
Yep.
So we try to put that in our setup.
Cool.
Just like you guys do.
But I was just kind of curious about your opinion on that. But at this point, we were going to give you the floor, and we're going to let you thank and talk about anybody you want to talk about and thank for all your success this season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I all of our NDRL sponsors, I want to thank all of them. Liberty Gear, obviously, I want to thank them especially because they come on with us this year, and I spoke with them, and Craig's a super good guy, super easy to work with. I've run their transmissions for years. Like I said, he's been super for me. And anyone I talk to says the same thing. So they're just a really good company to work with and buy from. The modified racers, super good bunch of guys. We hang out and talk, and we're all buddies. So it's Gary for one, he's very competitive. Gary Rollo, and I beat him. And it may have been at Mohawk when I beat him, and he was just really disgusted with himself and bad. And I said, look, Gary, said it sucks to lose, I know, but the thing you really got to think about when you're at the racetrack is it's a friendship you develop when you're there. You meet a lot of new people, and you form good relationships with those people. And I think that's really one of the most important things about drag racing is, and especially with the NDRL, because I hear stories about index racers that they'll run around, they come back, they park the car, they go in their motor home, and they don't come back out, and nobody talks, and nobody's really that great of friends. We're with us, we're always trying to help one another, to a certain extent. Everyone always keeps a few things in their pocket, up their sleeve, but if someone's really struggling, you're like, well, do you do this or do you do that? A lot of guys, I run a pressure gauge, so I know how much brake pressure I apply when I stage my car. I didn't used to. So, one time I'd stage and it'd go in and it'd do one of these numbers, and then, the next time it wouldn't. So, I started using a brake pressure gauge so I can stage the same every time. And it's just, there's so many little things that you put together that makes you a better racer. And, when you see the guy struggling, you go over and you try to, throw things at him that they could do. But, my wife, I done a lot of testing this year. Like we'd go to a race and I'd get home, I'd take a week off and I'd go to the local track on a Friday night or Wednesday night and test. And we own a business in town here, and I always work nights. My wife works it during the day. So obviously if I'm at the track testing, she'd have to cover for me. So she would cover for me. She's a huge part of my racing because she loves it. She loves going. And that makes it so much easier. If your wife ain't into it and don't like it, then it's probably not going to work.
Talking to you, Debbie.
But I mean, she's made friends at the track, and it's just a good time. And then my brother, we're always pushing each other, and if he's a machinist, if I need a part made, he makes it for me, or we're always helping each other, but we're always trying to beat each other too. So, and like I said, and my kids, they come to the races and watch me, and that's the greatest feeling of all. And when your kids come, your whole family's there, that's a huge deal. I lost my dad 7 years ago, and he went to every race with us, and that's time that we spent together that we wouldn't have spent together had we not been going to the racetrack, because he he was working, I was working, but we'd go to the racetrack for the weekend. We'd spend time together on the weekend. And I got grandkids coming now, and there'll be some junior dragster in the future for those. But I mean, there's a ton of people that I'm forgetting to think. But I mean, NDRL, I think the NDRL for taking a chance and trying this thing. It could never happen without their blessing. Danny Kellums basically built this group, and he gave it to the NDRL. He give it to them in hopes that they could make it bigger and better. And then he's right there. I mean, I talk to Danny all the time, bouncing stuff off of him, because I still look at it as it's his baby. So I want to do right by him and try to make it the way he wants it to be also. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle at times, trying to keep keep it where it is, and keep it its own thing. So, but we'll grow, we'll be better. Competition is getting extremely tougher.
It's getting spicy. It's getting real spicy.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. It's there's a few cars that you look at and you think, okay, I'll be all right this run, but not many. Gas has the same thing. I was one of those cars in gas. I was one of the cars.
Look at this. Look at this dummy with a clutch over here. Doesn't he know there's a power glide? It exists, right?
He's no good.
I could have 100 light and still beat him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, but, man.
I appreciate you guys and what you're doing. I'm on the board of the NDRL, and now we got Mr. Potts there. He's on board with us, and I think he'll be a huge asset.
I appreciate
that. NDRL, just with your world that you do and helping grow NDRL because of what you do. And we got a pretty good board right now, I think.
I'm really excited to see what comes next. I think we have nothing but upward growth and huge potential in all our classes. I think we really need to focus on trying to get some modified production and some pro comp out there to kind of fill those classes up. I don't think it's going to be hard, honestly. I think the desire is there. So fantastic.
There's a lot of them old cars sitting around.
Yeah.
But some of those guys, they're like, I don't know if I've got what it takes to go do it anymore. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's a 2-day event usually, always. Some days 3-day event. So you still get to go to the track and hang out and make passes. I mean, I wasn't happy when I was losing first round, but I was still just as excited to go the next race. Mm-hmm. Knowing I probably was going to lose first round, but I knew I was going to get probably 3 qualifying passes and 1 round of elimination.
It's that whole saying about a bad day at the track's better than a good day at work.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
exactly.
Kyle, man, it has been a pleasure talking to you, and I really appreciate you coming on the old Line Locked podcast. And I hope maybe we'll have you on again, maybe 2024, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Go ahead.
No, I just hope it ain't coming down. I hope either I'm way ahead in points and my brother's not, or he's way ahead in points and I'm not, because it'll be a whole lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm going to start betting on your brother.
Well, he's up on me, so good money's on him.
Yeah, I think he just needs a little bit more positive reinforcement. He'll get her done next year. All right, Kyle, man, we loved having you. We loved having you on. We loved having you on, and we will catch you on the next time.
All right, man. See you, Kyle.
All right, see you, buddy.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Man, that was a good conversation. He he mentioned something I wanted to say something about. He says, people keep things in their pocket, and I assume he means, some of their strategies and tactics. The only thing I got in my pockets is just full of positivity. That's all I got.
Full of positivity.
That's all I got. Pockets full of positivity, baby.
Oh,
There's nothing I hold back or keep secret.
only thing in my pocket is all those participation awards I got.
or debt.
Or dead, yes. Oh,
all right, cool. What we got on viewer mail?
all right, man. Hey, yeah. So last episode we talked about all the micro records.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, like,
Actually, I found another one too. Go
Did you
ahead.
find
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay, well, let me go back to this one. So this is actually one of our friends, and he's on one of our videos from, I guess it was Bowling Green first.
Yeah,
in
yeah. Oh,
South
yeah.
Row.
I see it right here. Yep.
Yeah. So Brian Todd, he said, I have my own micro record. He said the biggest wheel stand with a pump fuel, naturally aspirated, power window, power trunk, all steel, street driven, 1931 Ford Coupe with a small block. Is that enough to get a record?
I tell you what, there's a lot of competition in that record. Yeah. Brian, I guarantee nobody's going to bust your record on that one, buddy.
If you want to see a good wheel stand, go back to the Blood Brothers channel and look at.
You know what? Matter of fact, it's behind us right now.
Oh, it's right behind us. Yeah. All right. Watch this.
Not when Chris is looking though. It's not when. The micro record I heard this week was stock ECU. There's a micro record for that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, stock ECU record.
Oh,
I
wow!
don't
You're really pulling stuff out of the air on that one.
Yeah.
Man. That's
All right, guys, man, we're about to wrap this one up, but we had a giveaway starting last podcast, and the whole idea is you have to give us your best made-up extreme sport. So the one that AI told us was extreme skydive ironing.
Yep, exactly. Ironing while skydiving.
Yeah. Now we've gotten several inquiries. We have several ideas already out.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I'll say several, but 5. 2 of the 5 are from the same people, or same person. So you got a good shot at it. Make sure you make up your most ridiculous extreme sport and put it in the comments below if you're on YouTube, or email us at linelockedpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
What you're going to win if you're watching the YouTube side of it is we got a Blood Brothers Racing t-shirt, our new design for the end of last year. That's going to be the giveaway, and providing that you're in the right size. I think we got medium, large, and extra large, maybe a couple 2Xs.
Yeah.
But worst case, we'll get you something. And you also get some swag, too. We got stickers and whatnot we'll throw in there as well.
So don't forget to go to linelocked.com also if you want to hear these. And all the podcasts are on all the major players for podcasts, like Spotify, Amazon, Apple, all that kind of stuff.
Everyone that allowed me to sign up for, I got it signed up for. I even think we're on Pornhub.
If we're on...
Sorry.
I have no.
Maybe I'll bleep that.
I have nothing.
I just thought it was funny to say.
Pornhub.
All right. Gosh. Are we ready to hit this button?
You hit the button. Let's get out of here. Oh my gosh. What am I going to do with you, man?
I don't know, man. I'm insatiable.
Think before you speak.
I can't do it.
Anyways, I'm Chris.
I'm Corey, and we are
Line
Locked.
Damn. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Love you.